Welcome to Lesson 5 of Algebraic Concepts, Order of Operations with Rational Numbers, Part 2. So please go back and watch all of these Order of Operations videos. They're meant to be watched as a series. Try to practice all of the problems. So we're working with our second part of rational numbers, which are fractions or decimals that can be expressed as fractions. So here's our objective. Our one picture of PEMDAS groupings, and I don't want you to forget that division, where you have multiple things going on in the top and bottom. That's supposed to be a z minus 3 plus, I don't know, some random letter a. You have to do the top separately from the bottom. So get the top down to one number, get the bottom down to one number, and then do the division. Okay, so let's look at our first example here. So what are we going to do? It looks like a big problem, but what you're going to do is rewrite everything. 10.5 minus 7.5 becomes 3, plus 15.5. 18.5 is 15.5 plus 3. And then 5.5 squared becomes 30.25. After doing it in a calculator, I just chose to write these as decimals. So just bear with me there. So 10.5 times 3 becomes 31.5 plus 286.75 plus 30.25. And adding all of that together gives us 348.5. Okay, looking at our second example, so example 2. So this 7 is not a part of the fraction. So what we have is we're going to start with the top of the fraction and the bottom separately. So over here, so you have 5 times negative 31 minus 25 minus 2 to the 5th, which is not 25. 2 to the 5th is 32. Over 2 times 2 is 4 plus 5 is 9 minus 7. Okay, negative 31 minus 32 is negative 63 times 5 over 9. Now, because these numbers are multiplied together in the top, we can go ahead and divide 63 by 9. So 5 will multiply by negative 7 minus 7. So 5 times 7 is negative 35 because multiplication comes first. And that will give you same signs add, negative 42. So be careful with your signs. Be careful how you do things. Please do one operation at a time and then simplify, or do your other operations. Do one thing at a time, rewrite the whole thing, then do your second round of operations. So those were our 2 examples for this lesson. I will see you at the end of the video for a recap. Okay, so let's look at our example. We see parentheses and then braces. So do what's inside the parentheses first. Negative 12.2 plus 2.2 gives us negative 10 to the fourth power plus 5.3 times the quantity of 10. Okay, negative 10,000 to the fourth power gives us positive 10,000 plus 5.3 to the times 10. So 10,000 plus 5.3 becomes 10,000 5.3 multiplied by 10. And you see that I'm not removing the brackets until I'm down to one number inside of it. So the beauty of multiplying by 10 is that we just move our decimal one space to the right. And now we have 100,053 as our answer. Okay, the second problem. This is a bracket. So make sure you do what's in the top first. And so we're only looking at 150 times 11 divided by 30. So 150 times 11 divided by 30 gives us 55 minus 6 gives us 49 over 6. So I just did all of that in the calculator, and then it gets multiplied by negative 3 on the outside. Okay, 49 divided by 6, but this 3 is multiplying, and we can go ahead and cross factor, so that becomes negative 1, that becomes a 2. And now doing some fraction math, we have negative 49 over 2. If you want to leave it as a fraction, you'll get negative 24 and 1/2. If you do it as a decimal, you get negative 24.5. So if you're thinking that the problems look too big, break it down into their smallest parts. Start with the easiest thing you can do, and then work your way from there. Do one thing at a time, and do not be afraid to rewrite your problem out. So maybe you wanted to do one should have multiplied 150 times 11 and then divided that number by 30 and then subtracted by the 6, and you solve the whole top, because the top is separate from the bottom until you get it down to one number because of the addition and subtraction. All right, well, that concludes this video. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe to this channel. Hit that notification, and I hope to see you on more videos.